Celestial salutations. It's me, PRISM, and welcome back to another episode of Shine or Decline. Before PRISM jumps into the video, I'm here with a couple of disclaimers. Firstly, this series is in no affiliation with RuPaul's Drag Race. It is simply for fashion and for fun. Secondly, I'm definitely a crafty queen and prefer to use hot glue, foam, and yes, staples. So here, we're going to be focusing on the overall vision of the look, how it fits the theme and the queen's aesthetic, and the styling from head to toe. Thirdly, this is meant to be a positive series focusing on the queen's imaginations and enjoying the show, with a couple of PRISM's quirks thrown in. So if you have any really hateful comments to share, please, fuck off. Finally, remember to subscribe and like the video, as well as comment down below on who you thought was the best on the runway this week. That's it from me, so I'm going to throw back to PRISM for Shine or Decline. Light on! This week, the girls were tasked with one of Drag Race's staple challenges, the makeover challenge. And this challenge can be regarded as quite difficult. That's why it's always kind of towards the end of the season, usually. And in the past, we have seen some real success stories. Essentially, the queens have to take someone that is completely unbeknownst to drag, basically, and make them a drag queen in about 24 hours, essentially, I imagine. I have no idea. You want to create that sense of self, but also be able to replicate it on the other person, but it still needs to have a difference because you're not creating a clone, you're creating like another person that's in the drag family. To be like your nuances, recognizable features, but you know, it's just like their own twist. Open to interpretation to a point. In terms of the storyline, this is the time where you like talk up the story. This is actually one of the only runways, like they love hearing the story, you know? I love hearing the story. I feel like it's encouraged for this challenge. You know, I have maybe a few recognizable features that could definitely, you know, transfer onto numerous people. You know, I'm not one to brag. I couldn't even finish the sentence. We're going to be looking for how the queens have their synergy with their partner, as well as how their full outfits and story pertains to their drag character and overall quality of the transformation of both their partner and the dog. Keep in mind, this isn't the first time we've seen 4 dogs in the workroom. There was the top 4 of season 1. Let's jump into the runway. Yeah, I'm not saying that. First to the runway is Hollywood star, Ava star, and Ruby star. Some resort wear moment. It's very flowy. It's very girly. I like the feathering on Ava's sleeves. It gives like a bit of a bellow, gives some like drama. As we look into it, Holly's is maybe just like a bit of a weird length. I don't understand the shoe choice. It really elongates and just kind of shows like a bare foot. The styling, it's a little distressing. And the hair, I think I could cry. Like, stop it. Put a curl through it for Gaga's sake. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This is why this is stupid. I look stupid. I love it. This long down human hair again is nearly debilitating. I think I might cry. However, what saves this look is actually Ruby star. What an outfit. This gorgeous vested capelet with feathering detailing. It's really stunning. There's stoning all over it. It's a really catching color palette. It's like a really true blood red into like a soft magenta. Like for me, I feel Ruby really stole the show here. You know, maybe without Ruby, this wouldn't have worked as well. I feel like Ruby really brings the other two up. So well dressed and just gorgeous, really. I don't think that the makeup was successful. You know, there's no attempt to really like stylize the eye. And as pointed out, Hollywood did just replicate the same eye that she has featured a few times on the runway. The flowy nature of the beautiful beaded fabrics, like the gorgeous outfits. I just once again feel the styling is awful. I give Hollywood, Ava, and Ruby a fine. Next to the runway is Isis, Avis Loren, Venus, Tina Loren, and Neptune. Ooh. Very goddessy, very glamorousy. Okay, yeah, she's been pulling that angle. So, okay, first thing I'm actually noticing is like how gorgeously the front drapes on Isis's dress. Oh my God, go back. That's beautiful. I feel like this was like a mini dress and there's just been like an added piece of fabric, but in the best way possible. So delicate how this is gathered. Oh my God, I'm going to steal this actually. No one clocked that. Looking at Venus, the hair is absolutely stunning, just quietly. Just a touch more exciting than Isis's. Isis looks like she's got, is that her human hair on the back? Oh, that's smart though. Good on her. Headpieces look clean, well made, and oh, it's a very gorgeous fabric. That's an expensive fabric, girl. Venus's body looks great. Adding the padding was a great idea. Just really adds that, you know, exaggerated shape. And especially for a makeover can really help with the transformation. The makeup is really clean. It's really gorgeous. Maybe Neptune is a little lacking. I would have loved to have seen maybe some of the feather detail, just like a couple in the side, just really, you know, tie that full motif together instead of just kind of a bib of the same fabric. Even when they turn around, the draping that goes over Isis's butt seems to be rouged ever so slightly to the one side, creating an asymmetrical dip. And it just looks, absolutely stealing this. I feel like Venus's dress was actually original, and then maybe Isis's was the one that she had stayed up hand stitching. Earring choice is great. Looks really finished, really clean, really representative of Isis, even though we necessarily haven't seen too much nuance as opposed to some of the other girls. But I feel with this, Isis has really stepped forward and gone, don't quote the song, don't quote the song, don't quote the song, don't quote the song. This is me. It's an absolute triumph. I give Isis, Venus, and Neptune a divine. Next to the runway is Flor, Rosa, and Burrito Bouquet. Oh, the dog's wearing pearls. Oh, the dog has pearls on. Oh. Immediately points for putting pearls on the dog. This dog is like the cutest one. Looking at the full picture, that silhouette, the full color palette, this is absolutely gorgeous. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm so drawn to like the paneling of these dresses, how it's like very squared at the front. It's really like a mullet shaped style, which I actually am, you know, quite prone to a little mullet dress, not a mullet haircut, even though I was wearing one last week. These really, you know, show off the shoes. I feel like if anything, they could have been a bit higher, you know, in a God-honoring way. I like the beading on the front. I kind of wish that there was just the one singular cross, like there is the one singular heart. Rosa's makeup is absolutely like done, which we would have expected from Flor. It was deeply disturbed when watching Flor do Rosa's makeup, and all of the makeup slicked into the hairline that had been sprayed down with a hairspray glue. Absolutely traumatizing, as I have kind of been there a couple of times, like years ago. Oh, it was just frightening. However, probably necessary. Having, you know, a wig pre-styled into an updo like that, you know, it is kind of hard to resize the thing if, you know, you don't necessarily have like a real proficiency in wigs. Smart thing from Flor, being more of a makeup expert, has decided to extend the face. So instead of fitting the wig to the person's head, Floor's fit the person's head to the wig. I love the styling. I like the neck collar on Rose's. I wish that there was like maybe some tooling around the neck piece, even just like on the shouldering, just to kind of match that same vibe falling at the back of Floor's. I don't know if this is necessarily meant to be like a bride and mother of the bride motif, especially with like the darker color palette of Rosa and Floor with, you know, this extended train. I love the pearls both on Floor and on Burrito. This metallic magenta really does offset the soft caramel chestnut undertones of Burrito's fur. I mean, the dog kind of looks like burrito meat now that I'm looking at it paused. Oh no, I want a burrito. Know what I'm doing after this. As we'd expect from Floor, everything is dazzlingly rhinestoned just to add that extra flair for stage. This is so gorgeous. From the hair down to the shoes matching that Josh pointed out. Thank you, Josh. This is a complete success. Absolutely gorgeous. And if I might say, one of the better makeovers we've seen on Drag Race. This is such a transformation. Like, Rosa is in drag. I give Floor, Rosa, and Burrito a divine. Last of the runway is Gabriella Labucci, Isabella Labucci, and Leaning Tower of Pisa. So we get the reference. This is from the Flintstones. This is Wilma Flintstone and her very best friend and neighbor, Betty Rubble. It's a little disappointing to me. Even though it is a clean and cute recreation, not necessarily spot on, but still recognizable as the characters. But I feel like this is a missed opportunity to show self and to represent, you know, like your recognizable style and your makeup style and your hairstyle and your outfit styles and your, you know, serving and runway. And, you know, it's about kind of giving your essence to the other person. And I don't think that using a reference really applies to this challenge. I mean, in past makeover challenges, maybe we've seen them reference, you know, another cartoon or something, but, you know, like nuances and queer tie-ins are maybe a little bit different than like a misogynistic Hanna-Barbera cartoon from the 60s. Let's have a look at the looks. Firstly and foremostly, why is the dog not Dino? Why is it not in purple? Like, if you're going for this character, then why would you not incorporate yet another reference? I wanted to see, you know, like Dino. The outfits are very similar. They're very clean, a little sparkle on them. And the makeup on Isabella is an absolute success, actually. This is some of the nicest makeup Gabby has done. Now, where I have another issue with this look is maybe in the hairstyles. I wish there had been more attention paid to like the little choppy bob that Betty has and the very classic up bun that Wilma sports. She mentioned about foam wigs. There was talks of foam wigs. Where were the foam wigs? I'm never, you know, like, not opposed to a foam wig. I wouldn't wear one myself. Obviously, you know, with some of the judges' critiques, she obviously decided to edit, but it was, you know, even if the hair had have been clipped back with like a little pearl clip, just a couple of extra steps could have been taken just to oomph it further into the reference. On the other hand, once again, I don't think using a reference is like what the challenge calls for. And if anything, I feel a little bit robbed of seeing like the Gabriella Labucci experience on someone else. You know, I wanted to walk out there dressed in yarn, like with a whoopee cushion on her head. Rationally, this isn't a bad look. I just feel like maybe some choices didn't necessarily fit the challenge. In terms of Isabella, really great transformation and seemed like she came out of her shell. It's great to see Gabriella looking gorgeous and feeling fine. That's exactly what she's going to get. I give Gabriella, Isabella, and Leaning Tower of Pisa a fine. That's all 4 queens and their 4 makeovers and their 4 makeovers dogs. Tune in next week for the grand final of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under Season 3 on Stan, TV NZ, or Wow Presents Plus. Like the video and comment down below on who you thought was the best on the runway this week. And before you go, subscribe so you don't miss another episode of Shine or Decline. My name's PRISM. My name's PRISM, and for now, lights off.